We all struggle with procrastination, but there are a couple things that we can do to make our work more enjoyable so we can hopefully prevent it from happening. In this video, I want to go over a few tricks to spice up your workflow so you can hopefully be more productive. But before I begin, as much as I want to say that I came up with this concept myself, I need to give credit to where it's due. I first learned this from Ali Abdaal and his overarching belief about finding little tricks and ways to make your work more enjoyable. And that was the inspiration for me to make this video to share a few ways that I use to push through the work that I need to get done. Now let's get started. Listen to music. This is probably the most obvious one. It isn't groundbreaking or new. And I think everyone likes to listen to music to some degree. And if you don't, I would seriously urge you to try it out. It acts as a good switch up of the environment that you're in to make it seem that what you're doing is new or fresh. Personally, it's one of my biggest hobbies, and I like to think of it as balancing a seesaw, where you might usually have work weighing down on one side. If you add music into it, it'll balance it out to make it more even. I know people nowadays usually like to listen to lo-fi beats, classical, or soundtracks from games or movies, but personally, that's not something I'm into. If I only had those choices, I would probably choose not to listen to anything at all. The closest thing that I would listen to in relation to that would probably be instrumental versions of the music that I already enjoy. Because personally, I don't listen to rap, rock, or any type of music that's extremely noisy or has a lot of bass. So with the type of music that I listen to, I can usually get by without being too distracted. Of course, when I know I need to focus on studying for the final exam the night before, or working on a project right before the deadline, I would probably choose to not listen to any music at all. But when it's relatively mindless tasks, like checking your email from the night before, or typing data into a spreadsheet, or even when I'm cutting audio when I'm editing a video, I think that's where music shines the most. Because at that point, I'm just moving my fingers around, and I'm actually enjoying the music that I'm listening to. Create little rewards. My main form of entertainment these days is watching YouTube videos. I know, big surprise, right? But because most of the channels and videos that I watch have their video lengths around 10 to 15 minutes, I usually use one of those as my little rewards. So I usually try to do an hour or an hour and a half of work before I give myself a break. I wish I could go longer, but unfortunately, that's usually the time where my brain doesn't function as smoothly as I want it to. I know there are some people who can study for 4, 5, 6 hours without taking a break, and I really wish I had that skill. But if YouTube isn't your thing, you can create your own other little rewards, such as maybe scrolling on social media for a while, but also remembering to set maybe a 5 to 10 minute timer on your phone so you don't go overboard. You could go and grab a quick snack, stand up and stretch for a bit, or if you're feeling particularly productive, you can try working on another project. But it can really be anything that you enjoy more than the work that you were previously working on. And in the end, it's a good idea to give your brain a break. It helps you feel more refreshed so you can come back and possibly be even more productive. If you push yourself too hard and tire your brain out, you might very well end up being more unproductive when you were trying to be productive. Find an accountability partner or group. It's a common rule that doing things with other people automatically makes it more enjoyable. Whether it be eating, shopping, exercising, laughing, or crying. So finding someone to work with or a group to work with will make you feel better, and hopefully it'll make it easier for you to start and continue. And if you do happen to want to slack off, you'll have someone or a group of people helping you to get back on track. I think this works particularly well because of how our brains are wired. We're more productive when we study around other people because 1, we care about what other people think. So if we see that the other people around us are studying and we're on our phones playing games or on our computers watching videos, it makes us feel guilty because we're not doing the same thing as the other people are and we're not doing what we're supposed to do. And I think in some ways, the mirroring effect comes into play. You know the times when you're talking with a group of friends and one of them yawns, then you see another person yawn, and a couple moments later, all 8 of you are yawning. And whether you're still in school or in college, you'll see that study groups and work groups are a pretty common thing. And I think the reason behind all of this is because they've found that they've either really enjoyed it or they were each able to get some benefits out of it. And I know that throughout this time, if you're trying to work or study throughout the pandemic, it might not necessarily be possible to study with other people in person, but I think that's where these video call platforms come into play. Whether it be Zoom, FaceTime, Google Duo, or any other platform that you use, hopping on a video call with someone and working or studying, from what I found, can also be very beneficial. But if you don't have any means to do that, you can also try phone calling. I haven't personally tried it myself, but if you found that if working while on a phone call works for you, then by all means, go for it. Create new environments. Humans are pretty awkward creatures. I mentioned in my previous videos that we don't like change, but I've also found that we can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again without getting bored. The exception maybe being if you're working on a passion project, but let's be real. Most of the people working their 9 to 5 are not working on their passion projects. They're doing it so they can survive and make a living. Which is also my motivation to make this video and to help make your work more enjoyable. But if you do find yourself getting bored and unmotivated, working in the same environment every day, that's when you can change up your environment. If you usually study at your desk in your room, maybe try going to the living room and studying for a day. And if you're unable to do that, try and reorganize your existing environment. You can try cleaning your room, reorganizing your desk, cleaning everything up. Doing these things will trick your mind into thinking that you're working someplace new and will hopefully give you a boost of energy. And when everything else does eventually open back up, try seeing if you can go work in a coffee shop once in a while, maybe head to a public library and work there. Anything that you can do to make your existing environment a little different from what you're used to can hopefully help you find the energy to get back to work. Drink more water. This is more of a health tip, but is also something that I've tried to start implementing into my own workflow. When you drink more water throughout the day while you're working, you'll inevitably need to go to the bathroom. And so the more water you drink, technically the more breaks you can take. Think of it as a biological reason to take a break. But also, research has shown that just drinking more water in general helps you stay awake and alert. It helps your brain function as it was supposed to, so you can think more clearly and hopefully get more work done. But that was a little bonus tip that I wanted to put at the end. Let me know down in the comments below any tricks that you use to make your work more enjoyable. I'm always open to new ideas. Like always, if you made it to the end, you clearly didn't find me too boring, so go ahead and click the subscribe button down below. That's been it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in the next video.